friends, welcome back to another mod review. Today I wanted to dive into a mod that I've personally been really enjoying recently, and one that you have probably seen in some of my episodes of the Regency, of my Victorian Sims challenge. And so this is an archery mod for The Sims 2. So we're going to be talking about two separate mods here. One is of course the archery one, and another is actually for sword fighting. And you can kill Sims through sword fighting. There's a custom animation for it. It's really incredible. So whether you're using these for storytelling, for just plain old fun in your game, I promise you're going to really enjoy these mods. So first up, let's talk about the archery mod from the Plumbob Keep. So I know this website is a little confusing if you've never been there before. So I did just kind of want to show you sort of how to navigate it real quick. So if you go to medievalsims.com and press on Enter the Keep, it'll take you to this board index. So where I get a lot of my really cool mods from this website, I actually go to the Joiners Studio down here, the Sun and Moon Star Factory. Now this is chef's kiss. My God, I cannot take you to a greater place on the internet. There is so much good stuff here. They've recently released the Loads of Laundry mod, and so this is the really cool laundry mod that I have been playing with, and oh my God, I can't recommend it enough. So we are going to go down and select straight as an arrow. And I will be directly linking this in the section in the description below. So you don't need to necessarily find this yourself. However, I cannot encourage you enough to actually go through and check out pretty much everything in the Sun and Moon Star Factory. I mean, seriously, it's so good. So straight as an arrow is a functional archery mod, and it also has some targets, it has accessories. It's really cool. They really spared no expense when it came to creating these animations. They look so much better than you could possibly imagine. So before you download this, you do need the easy inventory check. Now, if you have other Sun and Moon mods from medievalsims.com, you probably already have this, but definitely go ahead and check to make sure that you have it. There's a couple things involved in using this. So you can practice archery, and when a sim has a mechanical skill level of 3 or higher, they may begin practicing archery. So you do need a certain degree of mechanical skills to even use this pack. That's not surprising. A lot of Sun and Moon mods do require some things like that. So during a practice shoot, Sims will take a total of 3 shots that are completely randomized, which is super cool. The action of practicing archery does build up mechanical skill. So if you're struggling to kind of come up with things for your Sims to do in medieval, in Victorian, in Regency, in any kind of historical gameplay when it comes to building up mechanical skill, other than reading, because not all of your Sims are going to be literate in these historical games, right? Then archery is actually a really cool way for you to do that, and you can place it on community lots as well. There's also a fun little option for a tournament shoot. And so when your skill has a mechanical skill level of 7 or higher, they may compete in tournaments, and they might even get a prize. I think it's just like a little coin pouch. And your Sims in tournament shooting will shoot 5 randomized shots as well. And depending on their success, they can get 1 out of 4 outcomes. So they can play well and are given a positive message. They can play poorly and give a negative message. Or they can manage to shoot a bullseye on shot 4, and that's when you get the coin purse prize. They can also make a split shot on shot 5, and they will get the golden arrow trophy. This is something that I haven't played around with a whole lot, but it's something I really want to host. Like in my Victorian game, I could definitely see my aristocratic Victorian men and women, because in the Victorian era, archery was also a skill that was practiced by women. We could have our own tournaments. I think it'd be really, really cool. And while this is happening, you can have other Sims actually watch the tournament, which is super neat. So this section has no affection on relationships, and it's also not correlated to how well a Sim is doing, by the way. There are a couple different target options that you can choose from. So there's a wall hanging target, there's one on a simple stand, which is my favorite. However, if you want to kind of create like a target range and hang things on a wall, like inside, you could definitely use the wall hanging one. There are some standing boards which look really cool. And then even if you're more of a modern player, there are options for you. So you can see there's a modern stand. There are hay bales for your kind of lower class Sims. They've really kind of thought of everything. There's even a dummy, which is so neat. And there's also kind of like these gauntlets as well, which is super cool. So here's a look at the prize options that you can get. We've got the golden arrow here and the coin purse here, and you can see it has a little bow and arrow on it, which is super cool. And this is super neat in my opinion. There are a bunch of different inventory tools. These are all purely aesthetic and can be shifted up and down. So it comes with a long bow, a curved bow, a compound bow, a fancy recurve bow. I mean, they like there's a bound twigs bow. Like there's really something for any kind of style you want to play, whether it's maybe like elves in a fantasy hood or just like people going hunting in the Regency. What would really be cool is if they kind of incorporated this pack with their hunting pack. So you can actually like collect animals and use them for like hides and food and stuff with some other Sun and Moon packs. I think these would be really neat to kind of incorporate into each other. I don't know how that would happen. I'm not a modder myself, and so it sounds really complicated, but I mean, that is something that I do think would be really cool. And a Sim does not actually have to have a tool bow in their inventory. They will just use the default rental bow if they don't. So to obtain a bow, currently, only a vendor offers them the option until a bower Fletcher comes into town. So you can actually, I believe, make the bows and such. They are a little bit more expensive than otherwise, but this is a good way to purchase bows and stuff at the like town market. You could also just like, you know, place them on your own lot, I think, and purchase them that way, but it's pretty cool. And so all of these items are actually visible in the hood view. They're found under hobbies and recreation. They've been compressorized, and there's also a collection file as well if you do play with collection files. Now, the next mod I wanted to share with you that I think would go really well with the archery mod is the Functional Warrior Sword mod. Now, this is found on Mod The Sims by John Brehout 1. And if you've never been to Mod The Sims before, I do want to put out a little disclaimer that the way they've updated their website kind of makes it really annoying to navigate. So make sure you've got a good pop-up blocker running, or just prepare for the ads. I'm sorry. This is all I can say of the matter. And so this is a really, really cool mod. You have a bunch of cool new interactions with it. So it's called the Warrior Sword. And I believe it comes with both a metal and a wooden sword. At least that appears to be what I have in my game. These meshes I actually think are pretty good. And you do have a couple like interaction options that you can do with it. So you can choose to draw the sword and your Sim will walk up to the stand and pick the sword up. You can put the sword away, so you could put it back, and then you can view it. So those are the interactions for the sword stand. For the sword itself, you can pick it up, you can drop it, you can demonstrate your skills. So your Sim will swing the sword around, as well as do some kicks and punches. It's kind of fun to watch. And after the routine is finished, they do bow, which is really cool. And you can also choose to fight a Sim. Now, both Sims with the sword and the selected Sim will fight. They will stab, punch, kick, and slash at each other. And once they've finished, their fun will actually go up a quarter. And so this option will only appear when the sword is in the hand. You can also, there are two custom interactions that I think are pretty interesting, although they're also I maybe a little bit sensitizing. So you can commit suicide with the sword. This isn't something I'm ever going to use in my game because I know that can be a little triggering for people, but the option is there if you want to use it and play that out. What I do use in my game, however, for narrative and drama purposes, is the kill a sim option. So you may remember that I've actually had this happen in New Whitby in my Victorian Sims challenge. And the animation is really cool. It looks really great. It's just like they've done a really, really good job with it. So I can't recommend that enough. And so I have tested both of these out in my game. They work pretty well as far as I am concerned. So let me know if you end up using either of these mods, if you have any questions. I think they are really spectacular and really well made, and like kudos and major shout outs to all of the content creators involved in these creations. Let me know if there are any other mods that you want me to review for The Sims 2, especially those from the Plumbob Keep. I'm slowly working my way through them, and I hope to do at least one mod review from them a week until I have covered all of the Plumbob Keep mods, because they're magical. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a good rest of the week, and I will see you next time. Bye.